Millions of people online are watching videos about Norway's nude art exhibitions. But the real reason has nothing to do with shock. Inside these galleries, tourists suddenly become silent. Nobody laughs, nobody leaves. Instead, they stare. Why does Norway openly display body-focused art while other countries still debate it? And why are these exhibitions becoming more popular every single year? The answer reveals something powerful about modern psychology, vulnerability, and human curiosity. The room is quiet. A deep, resonant hush has fallen over the space. No one speaks. The usual hum of a public place has vanished, replaced by a shared, unspoken reverence. They look at a painting, or perhaps a sculpture. It shows the human body, rendered with an unblinking honesty. It is not meant to shock. It is not designed to provoke. It is meant to show truth in all its unadorned and vulnerable complexity. This is the moment everyone stares. Many people who find themselves in these spaces ask why. They wonder why no one looks away. In many parts of the Western world, the naked body often makes people move fast. They might laugh uncomfortably, or avert their eyes, or make a quick joke to break the tension. In Norway, the scene is different. The air itself feels calm, as if the art demands a certain kind of peace, and the people, in turn, offer it willingly. That change in atmosphere is small, almost imperceptible at first, but it feels deep. It suggests a fundamental shift in how we are asked to see and how we choose to respond. The mystery begins here, in this collective pause. Section 2. The visitor's gaze. First encounters with honesty. Tourists arrive in these galleries with their cameras slung over their shoulders and their city maps clutched in their hands. They walk slowly, their footsteps echoing softly in the grand, quiet halls. They step into a new room and then they stop. The first thing they often feel is a wave of surprise. It is not rude. It is not overtly sexual. It is simply quiet and profoundly strong. The bodies depicted are not idealized. They are real, with the soft weight of gravity and the subtle marks of a life lived. The visitor's gaze, at first hesitant, begins to settle. The second thing they feel is curiosity, a powerful magnetic pull to see more, to understand what is being shown. They want to get closer, to examine the texture of the paint or the curve of the marble. This is not a fleeting glance. It is a deep, investigative look. They want to see the details, the imperfections, the very things that make the artwork feel so alive and so human. The curiosity is born from the initial surprise. The experience shifts from passive viewing to active engagement. The third feeling is respect. A quiet, profound respect for the subject and for the artist. They stand and look for a long, unhurried time. The usual gallery shuffle, the quick look, the brief nod, the move to the next piece, is absent here. Instead, people plant their feet. They cross their arms. They tilt their heads. They are in a conversation with the art, a silent exchange that transcends language. This respect comes from recognizing the vulnerability on display. To see a human body laid bare, not for judgment, but for contemplation, is to be invited into a space of shared humanity. These first encounters are small, personal dramas playing out in the public space of the gallery. A woman might bring a hand to her chest, a gesture of unconscious empathy. A man might close his eyes for a moment, as if to process the image internally. A child, full of unfiltered questions, might whisper to a parent, who then kneels to answer in a hushed tone. These are the quiet moments that reveal the true impact of the art. It has bypassed the intellect and spoken directly to a more fundamental part of the viewer. The art has opened a door, and the visitor has, without even realizing it, stepped through. Section 3. A Culture of the Body. Understanding the Nordic View. To understand why this art exists, and why it is met with such calm, we must look beyond the gallery walls. One reason is culture. In Norway and in other Nordic lands, people often grow up around a different idea of the human body. There is a deep-seated cultural acceptance of nudity in non-sexual contexts. Young children might swim without clothes on a remote beach. The sauna, a place of communal steam and quiet conversation, is a normal part of life for many. The body is seen as a natural part of existence. It is not a secret to be guarded, nor a source of inherent shame. This does not mean people have no sense of privacy or personal limits. It is not a culture of exhibitionism. Rather, it is a culture that holds a simpler, more direct view. The body is a human thing. It is the vessel of our lives, the map of our experiences. It carries our strength and our fragility. This straightforward perspective means that nudity, in the right context, is not automatically charged with the same intensity it might carry elsewhere. It can simply be a state of being, as natural as breathing or sleeping. This foundation of cultural comfort is essential. This view inevitably shapes the art. Artists in Norway often use the human body as a medium for truth. They paint and sculpt the body not as an object of desire, but as a landscape of human experience. They show the lines of age, the softness of flesh, the quiet dignity of a face in repose. They do not hide the flaws, the scars, the signs of a life fully lived. In fact, they often highlight these details because that is where the story resides. The art asks the viewer's gaze to be calm. It asks us to meet the body with the same honesty with which it is presented. When visitors from other cultures encounter this, they feel something profound. They are being invited to see the body through a different lens. For a moment, they can set aside commercialism, shame, idealized perfection that their own cultures may have placed upon the naked form. They are given permission to simply look, and in looking, to see something universally human. This cultural context does not just create the art, it creates the audience and the quiet, contemplative space that exists between them. This is the Nordic secret. There are deep psychological reasons for the long, unbroken stare. Human beings are fundamentally wired to look at other human beings, especially their faces and their bodies. It is a primal instinct developed over millions of years of social evolution. We read faces to understand what others are feeling: joy, sadness, fear, surprise. We read body language to know what others need or what they might do next. It is our most basic tool for connection and survival. This instinct does not simply turn off when we enter an art gallery. It becomes focused. When art presents a raw, honest human body, our brains instinctively want to gather information. The stare is a tool. It is a way to learn, to understand, to connect with the story being told. In the safe, non-threatening environment of the gallery, the stare is not an act of aggression or judgment. It becomes a slow, deliberate way to listen with our eyes. We are not just seeing a shape. We are searching for a narrative. We are looking for the humanity in the paint or the stone. The stare is not rude, it is a search for meaning. Another powerful reason is the shock of authenticity. Most people today live in a world saturated with images that have been filtered, edited, perfected. Social media platforms, advertisements, films present us with a relentless stream of flawless bodies and carefully posed smiles. Our eyes have grown accustomed to a version of reality that is not in fact real. So, when we are confronted with art that shows real life, imperfections, asymmetry, unvarnished truth, it feels startling. It feels like a window has been thrown open in a stuffy room. This sudden encounter with honesty draws the eye and holds it. People stop to stare because they are thirsty for something real. They want to hold that feeling of authenticity for a little longer, to absorb it before they return to the world of digital illusions. The artwork acts as an anchor to the physical, tangible world. It reminds us of what it means to be in a body, to age, to have scars, to be imperfectly and beautifully human. The long stare, then, becomes an act of quiet rebellion against the curated perfection of the modern age. It is a moment of reconnection with truth. Sometimes, these quiet exhibitions become very loud online. A single photograph of a striking sculpture, shared on social media, can go viral in a matter of hours. A short video clip, showing a room full of people staring in silent unison, can gather millions of views overnight. People outside of Norway scrolling through their feeds in distant cities are suddenly confronted with these calm, contemplative rooms. For some, the initial reaction is shock. For others, it is immediate and deep curiosity. This digital wave brings a new kind of visitor to the art. This online exposure also brings debate. The comment sections below these viral posts become bustling forums for discussion. People ask if it is right to show such explicit images of naked bodies in public art spaces. They question whether it is brave or simply crude. Is it a profound statement on the human condition, or is it just designed to provoke a reaction? These conversations are often passionate and divided, reflecting the different cultural values people bring to the subject of the body. The quiet gallery becomes the center of a global and often noisy conversation. Many of the artists involved will say that the work is not about sex at all. It is about life. It is about the universal human experiences of aging, of illness, of joy, and of grief. A sculpture may show the delicate, wrinkled skin on an elderly hand, capturing a lifetime of touch and work. A painting may show a young body marked with a surgical scar, a testament to survival and resilience. The work asks for time. It asks the viewer to stay a while, to look past the initial nudity and see the story beneath. When people do stay, they often find their perspective begins to change. The memory of the art stays with them. They remember a particular face, a specific mark on the skin, a look in the eyes of a painted figure. This memory is what the art is for. It is meant to linger. The online controversy, in its own way, helps this process. It forces people to articulate their own feelings about the body, about art, and about vulnerability. The debate itself shows how important and how potent the subject is. The digital echo, with all its noise, ultimately amplifies the quiet power of the original work. The quiet power of these exhibitions is not accidental. It is carefully crafted. The visual style and design of the gallery space matter immensely. The rooms often use cool, diffuse lighting, soft blues, greys, that calms the eye and soothes the mind. This is not the harsh, bright light of a commercial space. It is the gentle light of a sanctuary. Soft shadows are used to create depth and mystery, allowing parts of a sculpture to recede, allowing parts of a painting to recede, while others come forward. This interplay of light and shadow guides the viewer's attention and encourages a slower, more deliberate mode of looking. If the art were presented on film, it might use the grain of old celluloid and the gentle rhythm of slow motion. Silhouettes might be used to keep some of the mystery intact, to suggest rather than to show everything at once. Slow panning shots would trace the lines of a body, encouraging the eye to follow its contours patiently. In the gallery, these cinematic choices are translated into physical space. Layout of the rooms, placement of the art, absence of distracting elements, all work together to stop quick glances. They ask for long, sustained looks. There are, of course, stories of protest and controversy. Some shows have faced public anger and calls for them to be shut down. Critics have argued that the work is too explicit for public spaces, particularly where children might see it. Others have argued passionately that this art is essential, that it helps us have necessary conversations about the human body, about aging, about mortality. The debate itself is a sign that the art is working. It shows how deeply people care about the body and how we choose to represent it. This public conversation, even when it is contentious, is a reason to show the work. At the center of these carefully designed shows is a profoundly human idea. We are all at once fragile, strong. We are temporary beings, subject to time and change, yet we possess incredible resilience and beauty. The nude art of Norway puts this duality side by side. It does not ask the viewer to choose one over the other. It asks the viewer to hold both ideas in their mind at the same time. It asks for a look that is honest, but not cruel. It asks for a look that seeks to learn, not a look that comes to mock. The gallery becomes a classroom for empathy. The end of a visit to one of these galleries is often as quiet as the beginning. People slowly filter out of the room, leaving the art to its silent vigil. The cold, crisp air of the city meets them at the door. They step back out into a world of snow, rain, traffic, noise. Some begin to talk in small, hushed voices, trying to put words to the experience. Others walk away alone, lost in their own thoughts, the images from the gallery still vivid in their minds. The calm they found inside stays with them, a quiet resonance that can last for hours or even days. This experience can change a small thought. It can open a new way of seeing the bodies and faces of the people they pass on the street. They might notice the lines around a stranger's eyes, not as a sign of age, but as a map of laughter. They might see the stoop in an old man's shoulders not as a weakness, but as the weight of a long and full life. The art has taught them a new visual language, a language of empathy and acceptance. The gallery visit becomes more than just an afternoon's entertainment. It becomes a quiet lesson in being human. When the camera turns away and the story concludes, a final thought remains. The world has many ways to hide. We hide behind clothes, behind words, behind carefully constructed online profiles. But the world also has ways to show. The nude art of Norway chooses to show. It asks for calm. It asks for honesty. It asks us to look, and in looking, to learn something about ourselves. The long, unbroken stare becomes not a sign of shock or intrusion. It becomes a sign of care, a sign that we are willing to see each other, truly. This is the hopeful message at the heart of the experience.